Welcome to this tutorial on Slserevers, which are available in the Enterprise Edition of Searchlight, and what enables Searchlight to perform searches on remote computers, connected via a TCP/IP connection. In this tutorial, I'm going to explain the following. What Slserevers are, what they do, and how to create and manage them using Searchlight. So, let's begin by describing what Slserevers are, and what they do. An Slserver is essentially a copy of the internal Searchlight search engine that is installed on a remote machine as a Windows service. Once installed and running, an Slserver will listen on a defined port for search requests from Searchlight, and, on receiving such a request, will perform a search and send the results back to Searchlight. It's worth mentioning at this point that an Slserver will only perform a search if it receives a valid search request from the Searchlight system that created it. It's also worth noting that all communication, in both directions, between Searchlight and its Slserevers, is automatically encrypted, providing complete privacy over the internet. Privacy between Searchlight and its associated Slserevers is ensured because Searchlight creates a unique pair of encryption keys for each Slserver that it creates. So, now you have an understanding of what Slserevers are, and what they are used for. I will now show you how Slserevers are created and managed. With the Searchlight main screen displayed, select the Slserevers option from the top-level Enterprise menu, and then select the Create Slserevers option. On selecting these menu options, the Create Slserevers dialog is displayed, which we will now discuss in some detail. The field, Number of Slserevers to create, is self-explanatory, and is where you define the number of Slserevers you would like to create. The maximum number of Slserevers that can be created is determined by the Searchlight license. For this demonstration, we will create 5 Slserevers by setting this field to 5. The next field, Slserver template directory, is where Searchlight stores a template copy of the Slserver code, and the files in this directory form the basis of any Slserver that's created. The next field, Slserver directory, is where Searchlight stores any Slservers that it creates. When an Slserver is created, it's automatically given the name of Slserver, suffixed with a 1-up 6-digit serial number. The next field, Use Slserver template, allows you to base any newly created Slservers on an existing Slserver. In this case, since we don't have any existing Slservers to choose from, this field is blank and is read-only. The next field, Port, defines the communications port that Searchlight will use to communicate with the Slserver. The Auto-allocate checkbox, if checked, will ensure that each port number that is generated is unique. The private key password field is the password that the generated Slserver will use to decrypt the messages it receives from Searchlight. It's worth noting here that this is the password to the Slserver's private key file that Searchlight created when it created the Slserver. The randomize checkbox, if checked, ensures that each Slserver is created with a unique randomized password. As mentioned earlier, Slserevers are installed and run on remote computers as a Windows service. However, for testing purposes, if the checkbox Install Service is checked, then the Slserver being created will be installed locally as a Windows service. If the Start Service checkbox is checked, then the Windows service will be automatically started on creation. For this demonstration, we will check all 3 of these checkboxes. When an Slserver is created, it is automatically assigned the loopback IP address of 127.0.0.1, which is particularly useful when the Slserver is to be run locally for testing purposes. So, now everything is set, I'll select the Create Slserevers button, which will create 5 Slservers, in accordance with the details we have defined here. As you can see by the feedback messages displayed, once Searchlight creates an Slserver, it then installs it as a Windows service, and then starts it, in accordance with the checkbox settings described earlier. So, now Searchlight has successfully created the 5 SL servers we specified. We will now see how these SL servers can be managed from within Searchlight. SL servers can be managed by selecting the Manage SL Servers option from the Slserevers menu, which is available under the top-level Enterprise menu. On selecting this option, the Maintaining SL Servers dialog is displayed, which I will now discuss in detail. The list box on the left-hand side of the screen displays an ordered list of all of the SL servers that Searchlight has created. As one of these SL servers is selected, the details on the right-hand side of the screen change accordingly and reflect the details of the SL server selected. Using this dialog, one or more SL servers can be selected, and then, using the buttons at the bottom of the screen, can be started, stopped, installed and uninstalled as required. The Maintaining SL Servers screen allows you to control the SL Server Windows service, but doesn't allow you to configure the SL server itself. We can configure SL servers by selecting the Edit SL Servers option from the Slserevers menu, which is accessed from the Enterprise top-level menu. On selecting this option, a list of available SL servers is displayed on the Editing SL Server screen. The list of servers are shown in alphabetical order, along with their respective IP addresses, and the saved search definition that they are associated with. The letters displayed towards the right-hand side of the screen show a number of attributes that are associated with each of the SL servers displayed, and the key to these letters is displayed just above the buttons towards the bottom of the screen. On double-clicking a highlighted SL server, or by selecting the Edit button, the Editing SL Server definition screen is displayed, which I will now discuss in detail. The Enabled checkbox, if checked, will enable Searchlight to communicate with the SL server, as defined by the IP address displayed. This is of particular use when Searchlight is searching a number of remote computers, as defined by an SL server group definition, and one or more of the SL servers within the group are to be excluded. The Comments and Location Details field is particularly useful, as it allows you to define a location, or any other details that you may find useful to identify an SL server. The IP address and port fields define the IP address and port number that Searchlight will use to communicate with the SL server shown. The Search Name drop-down list box defines the search definition that will be sent to the remote computer, and it should be noted that each SL server can have a different search definition associated with it. The Trace Enabled checkbox, if checked, will force the remote SL server to write execution trace details to a log file, which may be of some use in identifying any issues. The Logging Enabled checkbox, if checked, will enable logging on the remote computer that hosts the SL server. The Max Threads numeric dropdown defines the number of threads, also known as searchlets, that the SL server can create on a remote computer. This is particularly useful, as it allows the processing power of each of the remote computers hosting an SL server to be specifically tailored. The Encrypt Log Files checkbox, if checked, will force Searchlight to write any log file it creates, as the result of a remote search, to disk, in encrypted format. The Private Key Password field is the password to the SL server's private key file. When Searchlight communicates to an SL server, it encrypts the communication using the SL server's public key. Subsequently, when an SL server receives such communication from Searchlight, it decrypts the communication using its own private key using this password. It should be noted that changing an SL server's password on this screen does not change the password of the SL server on a remote computer. Should an SL server's password be changed on this screen, then the SL server's password must also be changed on its associated remote computer, identified by the IP address. This could be achieved by either reinstalling the SL server on the remote computer, or by simply updating the SL server's configuration file on the remote computer. Well, that concludes this tutorial on SL servers, where you learned what SL servers are, what they do, and how to create and manage them using Searchlight. I hope you found it useful, and don't forget to check out the many other Searchlight tutorials available. And thank you for watching.